there is a massive difference of you making a choice to not have children and that choice being taken away from you. And that choice was taken away from me. Like I said, I was newly married. I was only married a year. And when I met Dr. Elliot and he sat us down, and he was lovely about it, don't get me wrong. But I remember thinking to myself when he said, you know, there's a 1 in 4 chance of not surviving if you went full term and gave birth. And I remember sitting there thinking, wow, 1 in 4, that's a really scary figure. And I can't do that. And that was harder to digest. And I think a lot of things went through my head, because I thought, oh, should I have tried sooner? Should I have, you know, like, if I had done this, would this have happened? Or, you know, you make all these scenarios up in your head, but actually I had to bring myself back to reality and go, right, okay, what can we do then? Which took me a long time. And when I say a long time, it took me maybe 2 years to think, okay, what's our next step? We went down the adoption route, but then got rejected because of my condition, which was frustrating because my husband's perfectly fit and healthy. And there's so many people who give birth naturally and then get ill and they still are able to have children. And I strongly believe I would have given someone a really lovely home if, you know, they gave me opportunity. But fair enough, that wasn't in the cards for me. And then we went down the surrogate route. So we were going to freeze our eggs, our embryos, and then find a surrogate. But that's not an option for everybody. And even for us, it's very expensive. It's a very, very expensive route to go down. So, and we were on the surrogate, you know, list for years. And it got to a point where we both had to make that decision, me and my husband, to go, okay, we've been on the surrogacy list for 3 years or something. Do we wait any longer? Because we're not any younger. You know, I do keep going in and out of hospital. It just wasn't viable for me. But I think what eased my mental health regarding children was that I had his support. I think if I didn't have his support and he was very much, oh no, I really want children, and, you know, that would have been a lot harder for me. A lot harder. But I think because we both came to a mutual decision, it took that weight off my shoulders. Because I was raised in a household where, and I think a majority of women are, where you get married and you start a family and, you know, and that's traditionally what you do. So it is embedded in women from a young age. Like, that's just how your body's supposed to be. So when somebody tells you that your body isn't going to let you do that now, there's a lot of self-blame. What's wrong with me? Why does my body do this? You know, but actually, I'm also a big believer that everything happens for a reason, and maybe it just wasn't the thing for me. And I'm okay with that. Yeah, it took time, but like I said, you have to be kind to yourself. You know, you have to go through those emotions. It is grief. It is a form of grief because you are giving up something, a child that you will never be able to have. You have to mourn that. But once you come out the other end, it does feel lighter. Yeah.